Have you ever wondered what the next step in human evolution might be? What if someone decided to take that step for us, whether we wanted it or not? Today, we're diving into a story that blurs the line between science, spirituality, and a truly terrifying ambition. This is the story of the Ascension Fold. Our story begins in the late 2030s. Whispers started spreading about a very exclusive wellness retreat tucked away in the remote mountains of Northern Europe. Those who returned from it described a place that was unnervingly silent, almost impossibly controlled. This retreat called itself the Ascension Fold. But as the truth slowly leaked out, it was revealed to be something far more sinister. It wasn't a spa, it was a secretive cult. But this cult didn't worship a deity or a prophet. They worshipped an idea, the pursuit of genetic perfection. For decades, they operated in total isolation, drawing in followers who were convinced that humanity was inherently flawed. They believed our imperfections were a kind of spiritual disease, and the only path to true enlightenment was to surrender their very DNA to the cult's scientists. These scientists promised to correct the so-called weaknesses they believed were holding humanity back from its true potential. Imagine a world where your genetic code is seen as a rough draft that needs editing. Recovered journals from former members paint a chilling picture of life inside the Ascension Fold. They describe cold, sterile rooms made of marble where members would undergo intense gene screenings and personality restructuring sessions. They participated in ritualized cleansing ceremonies, where they were injected with strange bioluminescent liquids that would glow eerily beneath their skin, supposedly purifying them from the inside out. Many members, according to survivors, willingly gave up their old identities. They submitted to invasive procedures designed to alter their physical traits, erase hereditary conditions, and even enhance their cognitive abilities. They were promised a better version of themselves. But other reports suggest a darker side to these rituals. It's claimed that the cult was secretly creating an elite inner circle, a group known as the Purified. These individuals weren't converted. They were groomed from birth within the cult, raised in completely sterile environments. They were taught that they were special, that they were destined to lead a new, superior, human race into the future. When investigators finally managed to infiltrate one of the abandoned compounds, what they found was deeply unsettling. The walls were lined with framed diagrams of idealized human forms, almost like anatomical art, but each was annotated with specific genetic markers. At the heart of the compound was a central chamber filled with dozens of strange, metallic pods. These pods were wired to monitors that displayed flickering, embryonic shapes. The official report dismissed them as nothing more than outdated medical devices. However, confidential internal analyses revealed something else entirely. The pods carried biological signatures that didn't match any known medical experiments. They were something new, something unknown. And then there were the photographs. Pictures of children with unnervingly perfect, symmetrical features. Their eyes were exact mirror images of each other, and their expressions seemed practiced, devoid of any genuine, spontaneous emotion. It was as if they were posing for a catalogue of perfect humans. Experts were divided on what it all meant. Some theorized the cult was trying to breed a line of genetically engineered leaders from scratch. Others believed they were modifying adult members to conform to a specific, perfect blueprint. A former scientist who managed to escape the cult and became a whistleblower added another layer to the mystery. He claimed the cult possessed a synthetic algorithm, a piece of software that could predict a person's genetic potential. Based on this prediction, followers were assigned roles within the community according to their biological compatibility. But what happened to those deemed imperfect? They were isolated, subjected to harsh psychological conditioning, or most chillingly, simply removed from all records, as if they had never existed. Then, things took an even stranger turn. Over 60 members vanished without a trace, right before the main compound went dark. The official conclusion was that they had fled and gone into hiding, but satellite images, captured just days before the shutdown, told a different story. They showed a final mysterious gathering, dozens of members dressed in white robes, standing in a circle around a central platform, as if they were participating in one last, ultimate ritual. Before abandoning the site forever, where did they go? Weeks later, the real mystery began to unfold. Strange reports started trickling in from major cities all across Europe. People were noticing individuals who shared an odd physical uniformity. They had similar bone structures, the same peculiar DNA anomalies, and an eerie, unshakable calmness in their behavior. When questioned, none of them claimed to know each other. They all insisted they had lived normal lives, right there, all along. But when geneticists managed to discreetly obtain and analyze their DNA samples, they found something astonishing. The samples contained identical, artificially spliced genetic sequences, along with a rare mitochondrial signature that had only ever been seen in the cult's internal research files. It was as if these people were not born, but manufactured from the exact same genetic template. The most chilling discovery, however, came from a set of recovered emails between the cult's leaders. The messages referenced something they called the final form. This wasn't just another perfected human. It was a rumored individual, an ultimate being, engineered to represent the cult's final vision for humanity. The emails described this figure in cryptic terms as neither born nor made, but ascended. This language hinted at a process that went beyond simple gene splicing. It suggested a fusion of biological manipulation and intense psychological conditioning to create a leader that followers would worship without question. A being whose perfection was its own justification for power. While no confirmed sightings of the final form exist, the stories persist. Several witnesses who lived near the abandoned compound reported encountering an unnervingly flawless individual. In the months after it fell silent, they described someone tall, perfectly symmetrical, and always followed by a small group of people who walked with a strange, robotic devotion, their eyes fixed on their leader. Today, the Ascension Fold officially no longer exists. Its compounds are empty, its leaders are gone. But the story doesn't end there. Unexplained clusters of genetically similar individuals continue to appear in different parts of the world. They are always calm, always confident, and they consistently avoid any form of medical testing or genetic screening. Some people believe the cult succeeded, that they successfully released their perfected generation out into society, where they are now living among us, undetected. Others think they are just waiting, integrating quietly into our world, until the time is right to reveal whatever new evolution they believe humanity is destined to become. And this leaves us with the most unsettling question of all. If a secretive, well-funded group devoted to genetic perfection spent decades engineering their ideal version of humanity, are we so sure they would have stopped at just one generation? What if this is only the beginning? What if the future of our species is already being written in a laboratory, and we're just the rough draft they're planning to erase? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the chilling mystery of the Ascension Fold. What do you think happened to them? Are they among us? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoy exploring the unknown and uncovering dark secrets, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you do not miss our next investigation. Until next time, stay curious and question everything.